What's going on, everyone? It's Corey here from the Breakevens, giving you another Super Coach podcast today. Round 21 done. First week of finals for most leagues, I believe, are done. So getting down to the nitty gritty and the end. Better week. Better week, I feel, in terms of scores, especially if you had BONT as a VC or C. And if you missed it, it's got 182, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And today being Tuesday, we heard the retirements of Dusty Martin and Tom Hawkins, two greats of the game. I believe both won 3 premierships with Dusty, 3 Norm Smiths and a Brownlow as well. So congrats to those two on a terrific career. It'll be very different not seeing them out on the field next season. But in terms of Super Coach, it doesn't really matter because they weren't really options this year or the last couple of years. So for Super Coach, it means nothing. But it is what it is. So podcast today, team review, go through DFS Australia for the VC and C options through every game, and that'll be it. And then straight after this, I'm going to record an FPL video. So for those who like FPL or getting into FPL, I've got some videos up already on the YouTube channel, so make sure you give them a watch. But I'm doing a little different one, maybe look at some cheaper options. So keep an eye on for that, and that will be posted here on YouTube. So make sure you give us a subscribe to the Breakevens. But if not, you can always find us on Twitter/X at BreakeVensPod and the Facebook page, the Breakevens. All links will be posted there. All information will be posted there. If it's FPL, if it's AFL Supercoach, it does not matter. Everything is there. So that's done and out of the way. Let's get through to how my team went this week and my thoughts going forward. All right, here we go. 2,465. So better than last week. I had McGovern playing. I had a full team playing, and hey, I scored better. What are the odds? Happy with the score in regards. Zach Fisher's out, so I've had to play a rookie. So not too bad. Dropped a few ranks, which is disappointing. Was really hoping to push big this year, but last few weeks have hurt. So it is what it is. We go again next year, but very happy there. So let's get into how my players scored and how I lined up. So here we have it. As you can see, a lot of triple figures, which is great, but we had a lot of stinky scores as well. So we'll go through the side. Sheasel 105 was very happy with that. Dacos 101, you'll take. McGovern 125. He looked to be nowhere at halftime, but came back, which was great. Nick Martin 104. Luke Ryan 126, bounced back in a big way. And I had Zach Reed as captain because, as you can see, Bond scored 182 as my vice captain. So I took that. And I was probably almost better off taking Reed because Holmes stung it up with a 69. Unfortunate timing for me. As soon as I got Holmes in, I traded Ridley out for Holmes. And I don't think he's scored a ton since. He's been on the massive decline. So that trade did not work out, and that has hurt my score, but it is what it is. I'm out of trades. I can't change it. Bont 182, as I said. It was always going to be Bont this week, wasn't it? Butters 132 was good. Golden 109, Merritt 116, Dunkley disappointed with an 82, Tom Green 119, Rosie 108, and same with Sammy Walsh. In the rucks, Gorn 130 and English 102. Serviceable there. Flanders 91, a little bit disappointing because he was on 70, I think, at halftime. So did nothing after halftime, which hurt. Zorko 96. You could say it's an off game, but if that's an off game, I'll take it. Coldwell 111. was very good. Heaney 75 and Jackson 48, who were both very, very disappointing. Jackson was looking good. He was on, I think, 51 at halftime and scored -3 for the second half, which was great. And of course, Fisher is out, and I had Dowling, and it was too late to use my loops. I got my forward loops wrong, so I missed out on 21 points there with Dowling over McMullen, but it is what it is. So this week, we'll put this back here. I don't news on Fisher. Have we got any news on Fisher? Let's have a look. I've just got the AFL app on my phone, so give me half a second. Zach Fisher is a test this week, which could be could come in handy for me. So I could be full primo. But yeah. So we'll see. Now, in terms of VC and C, you could look at a Golden or a Heaney Collingwood against Collingwood. Dunkley or Zorko against GWS, maybe. North Melbourne against West Coast, you could go a Sheasel. I think he could be a big one there. Fremantle Geelong. Hopefully Shrek Darcy's out and Luke Jackson can be the main rucker. There's not much there. Sarong is a decent one. Essendon against Gold Coast. You know, your Zach Merritts would be very good there. Gawn against Port. I haven't checked DFS, but Port have seemed to be pretty easy matchup for Rucks, but we'll check DFS in a second. Carlton Hawthorn. Walsh could go off here. Depends if they send anyone to him or Cripps, that could happen. Richmond, St Kilda. If you have any St Kilda assets, I'd jump on them. And Adelaide versus the Bulldogs, you have BONT. Possibly English, but you know, BONT is BONT. So, all right, let's flick over to DFS, and go through these captains. So here is the table, last 5 Super Coach games. So starting in the first game on the Friday night is Sydney versus Collingwood. So let's look at Collingwood. So key forwards, general forwards are good for the Swans. We don't really have any. If Heaney plays a bit more of that role, you got him there. But if you look at inside mids, 0.728. So your Gordons, your Heaneys could score well there. If you have Grundy, as of late, Darcy Cameron has been a tough matchup, which is interesting, but Grundy at the SCG is pretty overpowered. So attacking defenders and wingers, so that also adds for Gordon there. Not much of a difference. Your general defenders and designated kickers. So your Nick Blakey's, if you have him in a draft, could be a good shout against Collingwood. As we go to the Swans, let's see, inside mids, -5. Do you have anyone else from Collingwood? Probably not. So not a great one for day costs there. I would be leaning towards a Golden or a Heaney, and Nick Blakey a pod. We move to the Saturday. First game is the Lions versus the Giants. So look at the Lions here. General forwards, not really going to have any. Key forwards is a tough one for Jesse Hogan. Inside mids, tough for the Giants. So Tom Green might have a quieter game. Rucks, no one really has Briggs. Attacking defenders, though, for the Giants, and your designated kickers +1. So you're looking at your Lockie Whitfield could be a great option here. GWS, no key forwards for Brisbane. You're looking at inside mids. Actually a tough, pretty tough matchup for your Neils and Dunkleys. It looks like across the board, GWS are a tough matchup. So I think you'll be looking, if you're looking anywhere in this game, probably Lockie Whitfield, but Neil or Dunkley could go off. You just never know. So next game is North versus the Eagles. So we'll look at North here, +12 for key forwards, +2 for general forwards, -4 for inside mids. Does anyone really have any West Coast guys? Probably not. Unless you might have a Jake Waterman, which if you have Jake Waterman, you could chuck a VC or a C on him. Depends what you want to do. But we move to West Coast, key forwards, general forwards, inside mids. Here we go, +5 for inside mids. So that's your Harry Sheasels, and +11 for your Tristan Cherry owners. I think out of the first 3 games, Cherry looks to be the safest option. But if you don't have Cherry, you can also go Sheasel. I think that'll be pretty popular this round. Next, we've got Freo versus the Cats. So we'll go over to Freo here. +1, 1.52 against Freo. So if Max Holmes gets in there, could be a good shout. Rucks +13. So if you have Sean Darcy, or if for some reason Sean Darcy's not playing, Luke Jackson could be a great option. And attacking defenders and designated kickers as well. Oh, sorry, that was Freo. So correction. If you have any Geelong players that are inside mids or rucks, which you don't really have, designated kickers. Okay, we could look at Max Holmes here. Here we go. Geelong +20 for the ruck. So it still counts that Sean Darcy, Luke Jackson, and general defenders. So your Luke Ryans could do well. In this game, even though it says, it's about 50-50, I'll be looking Sarong or Luke Ryan in this game. Unless you have Sean Darcy, or if Sean Darcy's out, you've got Luke Jackson, could be an option there. Bombers versus the Suns. So look at Essendon here. No one's really got any Suns key forwards. Inside mids, it's about a 50-50. Attacking defenders for Gold Coast. So that could play in the hands of Sam Flanders, but a -2.48. So that could also hurt him. Depends on what role he plays. So Flanders really the only Gold Coast option there, unless you want to take a punt on like a Row. So go to Gold Coast, +1.59. So your Zach Merritts, your Jai Caldwell's there. Looking the goods. And +12 to general defenders and +12.77 for designated kickers. So Nick Martin looks to be a great pot option this week. I would say so. In this game, you can go with Matt Rowell if you want, but it's probably either one of the halfbacks in Flanders or Martin. You can also go Merritt. So we know he likes to finish the season strong. D's versus Port. So we'll go to Melbourne here. +4 for inside mid. So your Rosies and Butters are looking good here. +4 for the rucks. No one really has a Port ruck. And designated kickers. So your Dan Houstons here could be the goods. As we move to Port, they have become a tougher matchup as of late. So I think you can still go Gawn if you wanted to. It would be a risk. But who else are you going to go from Melbourne? And Port do seem to be a tough matchup. So in this game, I'd probably be looking towards your Rosies and Butters. They could both go big. One could go absolutely bonkers. So it's probably where I would be leaning. If you want to, back in Gawn because he's been so consistent, you could definitely do that. Now we move to the Sunday games. We've got Carlton versus Hawks. So really inside mids, tough one against Carlton. Your rucks, if you have a Lloyd Meek, you could score some points there. But apart from that, it's pretty rough for any Hawks players. We move to Hawthorn. I think, is DeConning playing? If he is playing, I've totally blanked if he was back last week or not. But if he's playing, he could be a great shout if you have him. Inside mids aren't looking great. So your Cripps and Walshes, general defenders, yeah, tough game. I probably wouldn't be looking for a VC or C in this game, if I'm being honest, unless you have Tom DeConning. So, and if he's playing. Next is Richmond versus St Kilda. So the Tigers forwards, and no one has Saints forwards. Inside mids plus 1.35, plus 17.91 in the ruck. So Rowan Marshall could have a big game against the Nank. Attacking defenders plus 10. So your Nazaya Wanganeen Millerers or your Jack Sinclairs could be huge there. And I don't think anyone's really got Cam Wilkie in Classic. So definitely be looking towards a Marshall or a Jack Sinclair or Nazaya Wanganeen Miller in that game. And the final game is the Crows versus the Dogs. So inside mids against the Crows, plus 4.49. So that's your Bonds, your Libbers, your Trelaws, your Ed Richards, and your general defenders. No one really has a general defender from the Dogs. So definitely be targeting that. And against the Dogs, tough everywhere except for designated kickers. So maybe your Mitch Hinges will do well in that game. But I think BONT is pretty safe. So going off of that, we're looking at my side. I could easily go VC on Sheasel. How were the general defenders against North Melbourne? Right, here. So I won't be going at McGovern. Luke Ryan against Geelong was a good shout. So I do have Luke Ryan there or Martin. Or I could go late on the Saturday night with, well, yeah, it'll either be Martin, Merritt, or Butters or Rosie. Could go Sheasel into one of these guys, but I'm pretty happy with the C on BONT. I think that will be pretty popular. If I wanted to take a risk, I'd probably go Martin or Ryan into BONT. I have to do a little bit more research on that. But those are basically my three VC options. I'm not going to look at Butters, Rosie, Goulden. I think Goulden's going to absolutely dominate, but I'm not going to put the VC on him. I just think, yeah. You know what? I could put a VC on most of my team. Like, really, I could put a VC on anyone. But I think BONT will definitely be my captain. I have to do a little bit more research, but that VC, I might just hope for a spike game and then fall back on hopefully an easy 130 for BONT. So that is how I'm looking to head into this next round. And on that note, that's how I'm going to end this video today. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget you can hit me up on Twitter at Breakevens Pod, on Facebook, the Breakevens page, and here on YouTube. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, send a comment in the comments below or on any of the posts going forward. If you missed it, we have a FPL league as well that will be linked. that'll be put in the description down below this video, and it is pinned to our Twitter. So you got to head over there. Don't forget at Breakevens Pod. So that's it for today. So thank you all again for watching and listening, and good luck for this week. And until next time, it's bye for now.